Okay, so we've just had CES 2019, and a lot of the major TV manufacturers mentioned that they were going to put AirPlay support on a lot of their TVs, and also Samsung said that they were going to have the iTunes TV and movie store, and they're also going to support 2018 TVs as well. So if you've got an N series TV, you should be getting that support added, which is unusual because generally Samsung smart TVs don't get a proper firmware update. They usually stay with the update they are. Apps obviously get updated, but not the actual operating system. So in looking around and sort of researching Samsung smart TVs, I found this, they call it an infographic on their Samsung website, and it's the history of smart TV. Now it only goes up to 2015, but I'll carry on after that with YouTube videos. So in 2008 we had the birth of content-oriented TV. Now, when you look at the TV, it doesn't look anything like a smart TV of today. They do mention YouTube on there, and so there was support for YouTube somehow, but I think that was probably through a browser. Now, the other focus really was widgets, so it wasn't great back that time. They had USB drives though, so you could plug it, so you could get your photos and videos from that, but video support was very limited. DLNA as well, so you could stream content from your connected computer on your network. 2009, obviously starting to look a lot different, but still not seeing any major TV apps, which is what makes smart TV really. And they also, so if we go to 2010, they start talking about 3D TV, and a big focus here, sadly, on whether Facebook and Skype, things like that on the main page. I mean, they never were good on smart TVs. A lot of people thought that that's what they wanted on smart TVs, but turns out the experience was really bad from that side of it. 2011 started to get better. iPlayer came out in March 2011, so that was a major thing for the UK. There's a YouTube, see it says Samsung Apps there. You can barely see it because the quality is fairly low, but it's got a YouTube app, that's the black and white bit in the middle there. So we did start to have proper sort of video streaming apps, which is really nice to see. 2012, so the ES series of TVs, now this is really taking shape, and loads of good stuff came out in 2012. We got Netflix, we got a proper YouTube app, we also got ITV Hub or ITV Player, and we already had iPlayer. So we nearly had sort of the main players on there, and it started to get a little bit faster as well from memory. But 2013, that's when they started to change the look of it. Now, I didn't particularly like this direction that they took. You can see there's the sort of 5 icons at the top. One of those was Smart TV, and for me it just wasn't direct enough. There was too many different options. I like to press a Smart TV button and go straight into it like they do now on LG and Samsung TVs. Back to 2013, 4OD came in the UK, and also Demand 5. So at that point, Samsung were the only TV manufacturer in the UK to support all the 3 main UK players, which was great. It took a long time after that for anybody else to match up. So 2014, not much different. It was a very similar look. I don't remember anything major coming or any major apps. But more of the same, and they were still sort of leading the charge. 2015 I thought was great for Samsung. This was, well, I was surprised at this. It says on the bottom, powered by Tizen. Now, I've always thought that Tizen TVs were 2016 and after, because they had that distinctive look. Pretty much, well, they look the same now as they looked in 2016, apart from a few colour differences. But yeah, this was running on Tizen, but didn't get a lot of support for newer apps that came in. I think it was a lot of 4K content wasn't supported on the 2015 models, which is supported on the 2016 models. So there was definitely an improvement there. Although that said, iPlayer doesn't get supported on the 2016 models in 4K. It was only 2017 and onwards. But that's the end of this infographic from Samsung. So from now on, I'll use YouTube clips that I found searching on the web, and I'll put in the description, if you want to see more of them, I'll put a link to each of the clips that's there, so you can watch the whole video if you want to go back and watch over that. So 2015, what a terrible year for TVs. All of the major manufacturers had made much cheaper 4K TVs and they were just awful. They didn't have the processing power to cope with the movement, and so there was lots of artifacts and lots of smearing and just a terrible experience overall. It was okay if you could afford to buy a £2,000 plus TV, but if you were buying a much more reasonably priced 4K TV, it just wasn't worth it. As you can see, the smart TV was pretty swift and actually worked very well and has some great services, but for me it was a year for 1080 TVs. The H6400 was still around, and Sony were making some stunning 800 and 1000 Hz 1080 TVs, but luckily that got sorted out in 2016 and everybody was back on track.